Welcome to TJ Walker Interactive. I'm your host, Mike Bako, and you might be wondering what exactly this is. Well, our guest today, Nancy Weil, who's a certified laughter instructor, is going to tell us what this is, but also, more importantly, how we can relieve stress. Nancy, a lot of people in the business realm of things are dealing with a lot of stress right now, whether they have jobs or don't have jobs, dealing with clients. What's the first thing that people should know about handling stress?
The thing that they need to know most is that there are tools that they can learn, that I'm going to teach some of them today, that will reduce stress instantly. We can control our stress levels. We cannot control what goes on around us. We cannot control how other people act. We cannot control sometimes the circumstances we find ourselves in. But we can control the stress. And it's really very simple. I teach something that I say that you don't have to feel good to feel better. You don't have to feel good to feel better. You can use the body's physiology in order to help yourself feel better instantly.
Now, how can people do that? A lot of people working at their desks,
Absolutely.
hunch over their computers, trying to do deals on the phone. But what should someone do if they're in that situation? I know some people can walk around their desk if they have one of those portable headsets.
Sure.
But if you're stapled to your desk, how do you do that?
I'll show you a few things that you can do.
Yeah, great.
One of the things is you have to create what I call the HPOA, the Humor Plan of Action. You have to have the strategy in place before the stress hits, because otherwise you won't know how to react to it other than the normal pattern.
So don't wait until you are in that situation where you're starting to get a headache, where your back is tensing up, where a lot of people, you see them at their desk trying to wring out their nest. Doing something before that even hits.
Exactly, because our body does tell us when we're under stress, and we better pay attention when it gets to that point. We started with the stress ball.
Yes.
I always have one at my desk. I work at a cemetery, and I always say if I can make it fun to work at a cemetery, I can make it fun pretty much anywhere. So if there aren't families in the office and it's just the staff, and I happen to get what I call the cranky person on the phone who's just venting at me, I just begin...
And you can understand why they are venting in that situation.
Absolutely. And it's not about me, and I can't personalize it. I have to let them, let off the steam, understand where they're at, and meet them from a place of compassion. But when we involve our ego into it and we feel attacked, we can't do that. So I immediately grab my stress ball, and I just start to play with it. And as I start to do that, I can feel my stress drop. Now, I'll show you a really neat strategy if you're not on the phone, that you can use if you're in your office and you feel yourself getting extremely stressed. It's something that I say you can use a straw, something as simple as a straw.
Okay.
And I had a company once that said, oh, I know what I'll do with that. I'll put it in my pina colada at the end of the work day, and I won't feel so stressed anymore.
Exactly.
Well,
I'm sure a lot of people in our audience have been in that situation before.
This is something you can do during the work day. So I'll hand you a straw, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn it sideways.
Okay.
We're going to put it between our teeth and not let our lips touch. So we'll look like this.
Hey, I'm smiling.
Exactly. And if you hold that for 3 minutes, your brain will release chemicals that say, we're smiling. And the serotonin levels will rise, the cortisol levels will drop, and you'll feel great. Now, at your desk, you might not want to sit with a straw in your mouth, but you have a pen. You have a pencil. You can stick it between your teeth and act like you're at your keyboard, like you're working furiously on something, but your brain, in the meantime, is starting to let that stress
And
relieve.
I'm sure to a certain degree, just knowing that you're doing something to try to better your mood will help. Like you said, you don't want to be sitting at your desk, big giant Joker smile on your face. But if so, I wouldn't think twice if I glanced over and saw someone with a pen in their mouth. I would just think that they're concentrating away. But what they're really concentrating on is smiling, concentrating on relieving that stress.
Yeah, I teach a lot of breathing techniques. And it's amazing how if we come back to something as simple as the breath, how we can reduce stress instantly. Remember when we were kids and we get all excited and our mom would say, wait, stop, take a breath. Because it works.
Sure.
There was wisdom within that. So at our desk, what we can do is literally just slow down the breath intentionally, breathing in slowly and releasing it slowly. Nobody knows what we're doing. But as we slow down the breath, we will find ourselves immediately feeling calmer. If you're not around people, one of the best breathing techniques for stress I teach is something called the ah breath. And what we do with that is we breathe in, and when we exhale, we say ah. So it'll be like this. Ah.
And again, when I do it, a smile comes to my face.
Exactly. And what's amazing with the ah breath is that we're releasing all the tension in our face, all those muscle tension, we're relieving. And so as we do that, when we're stressed, our jaw, we get all tense. But we're also exhaling. And when we exhale fully, it allows us to what? Inhale completely. And one of the best things we can do for our health is to breathe deeply every day. They actually have found that people who do regular breathing exercises, regular laughter exercises, have fewer upper respiratory illnesses in the winter. Isn't that incredible? And in a work office, you know how often a cold starts sweeping
and so
around.
many companies now are so aware of this. They're providing flu shots to all of their workers, but just something like this where maybe if they set aside 5 or 10 minutes in each workday for group breathing, group exercises, or even time where they could go on their own, maybe a room in a conference room and just sort of go off by yourself. Would you recommend doing something like that?
Oh,
going
absolutely.
Into a dark conference
There's
room?
actually, well, Google has places like that in their corporate
Sure.
office, and it's
And
doing well for them.
Exactly. They might be
But
onto something.
There's actually companies that start with laughter at the beginning of the day to do laughter exercises. And what it does is it'll boost your immune system, reduce your stress, boost creativity, creative problem solving, use left and right side of the brain, so whole brain thinking kicks in, and a host of other health benefits. And all that is very simply is using the sound of laughter. So it's not telling jokes, because as we know in the workplace, we can get in a lot of trouble with humor used incorrectly. This is just using the sound of laughter. So getting together in a way that we're going, and when we laugh, it is contagious, and other people start to laugh. In our laughter clubs, we actually do different exercises using the body's movement with the sound of laughter. It's called Hasya Yoga, which is laughter yoga, using the sound, the movement, and the breath. So we actually will gather and do things like maybe pretending we're having a snowball fight. We're using that creativity that children use all the time. Children have no problem making believe do that. They don't get the stress-related illnesses that we get.
Right.
So how much better to begin to use all of our creativity? Because at work, what do they want us always to do? Think outside of the box, be more creative. And then what do? They literally put us in a box and ask us to stay very rigidly to all the rules and policies and procedures. We need to be able to ignite the right side of our brain. And laughter helps us to do that.
Where can people find out more information?
They can go right to the website, which is thelaughacademy.com, and I have all kinds of information on the health benefits of laughter, and they can learn more about it there and some of the corporate programs that I give. And I really do bring this because I find in the corporate world what I'm hearing again and again is I'm overwhelmed, I have too many things to do, I'm not finding balance between professional and personal life, I'm having trouble with time management, I'm having difficulty with communication between myself and my coworkers. It's rampant right now. And the stress levels have never been higher because as cutbacks are happening in the workplace, the stress levels go up.
Now, a lot of people look for ways to relieve some of that stress. I know long drive might do it for some people.
Right.
A lot of people are taking long drives just to get to work. And now with BlackBerries, with iPhones, with different ways, we're never out of touch with the office. So it's never just that 45-minute nice, smooth commute. Let's say I'm in my car, BlackBerry's going off, there's traffic going on. What are some of the things that someone could do en route to work?
Absolutely.
They're not even at work yet, but that stress level is already rising. And then it's not going to make for a very productive work day if they're walking right into the...
Yeah, there's a few strategies that are incredible. NASA did a study, and they found that if you chewed on cinnamon or peppermint gum on your way to work, the commute seemed like it went faster and you weren't so stressed. Now, you can use just that as like an aromatherapy oil, in your car, of the cinnamon or the peppermint. Why? Because that energizes you. It wakes you up. Be very careful what you're listening to on the way to work. Do not be listening to the morning news. It's not going to help you arrive to work feeling good. Go to the library. It's free. Get some CDs. It could be maybe somebody like Garrison Keillor or someone that you find funny, a comedian, Bill Cosby or whoever it is that you find funny, put in, or an inspirational speaker or something. Maybe it's just calming music. It will help you to feel better by the time you get to work. One of the things that I use, and I do use these things, is I always keep a clown nose in my car, and I keep it at my desk. And it's important to know something about your desk at work. In my desk and on my desk, I have toys. I have clown noses and fake bugs and fake frogs, and I have different things like Chinese yo-yos that I use, just like the stress ball. I have these things. I work with someone that if you open her dress drawer is the Rite Aid Pharmacy. And I always say, when you go to someone like that at work, every time they open their drawer, what are they saying? My job makes me sick.
Yep.
And when you open my drawer, I'm saying, my job's fun. I work at a cemetery. We have to be aware of our surroundings. But when I drive to work, I keep this clown nose on if I'm really stressed. If I find I'm running late, if I find I'm stuck in traffic and it's not going anywhere, I just put this on and keep driving. And I find it's impossible. It is impossible to stay angry, upset, stressed while you're wearing this.
Not only for you, but probably for the driver next to you stuck in
I
traffic.
wave at a lot of people.
Probably elbows the person next to you. Look at this guy. And then all of a
Exactly.
sudden, not only are you helping
That's
you,
right.
but you're also probably helping the other passengers in other cars that see this.
Exactly. One of the things that I do is I'm a walker. I love to walk. And when I walk outside, a lot of times I'll put on a silly hat of some sort. I have a cow hat. I have a wizard hat. I have a jester hat. And I'm still doing the same walk. But I have this hat on, and it's amazing to watch as people drive by, as people walk, by me. And the adults will be like, looking at me like, I don't think she knows she has a cow on her head. But the kids will say, oh, I like your hat. See, kids look for the fun. Mm-hmm. We tend to try to ignore it. But you know what? Adults want to play too. We really do. We want to feel better. And we know when we have a really big belly laugh, we feel so good. I say it makes us feel completely energized and totally relaxed at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's our natural state of being. We should feel alert and awake, but calm.
What should you do if you are in a situation where your office just isn't very receptive to this?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to be walking around
No, probably not.
with the clown nose, but let's say you go to a supervisor, you go to someone and you say, I'd like this amount of time to try out these exercises, or what do you think about everyone in our department doing this? But you don't get that feedback because, just may not be in the book.
Right, but it makes good business sense because they have found that companies that really value joy on the job site are much better able to retain employees because who doesn't want to work at a place that's fun? They have less turnover. They have fewer sick days. They are much better able to recruit people into key positions because when you have that sense of fun on the workplace, in the job, they want to come. They want to stay. They want to do their job. They're more energized. Communication is better. Customer service is better. Every key area improves. And as companies begin to understand that, we're not just trying to play for no reason. We're not trying to goof off. We're trying to really increase our productivity, be able to be better at our task, be better with our clients, and be better for ourselves. Doesn't it make sense? And you know what it costs?
Completely makes sense.
Nothing. Which fits into most companies' budgets.
I would hope so, and I would think so. I would hope that everyone in our audience takes a lot of the things that you're saying today. And again, where can people find out more information on you?
They can go to the website, which is thelaughacademy.com. They can also find me on Facebook under The Laugh Academy.
Perfect.
And they can come on and learn a lot of different strategies to reduce stress now.
Nancy, I'm going to use this throughout the rest of today. Thanks for joining us on TJ Walker Interactive. If you have any comments or if you'd like to reach Nancy directly, just leave a post right here on the bottom of this video chat box, and we'll get back to you shortly. Nancy, thanks for joining us on
Thanks
TJ
so
Walker
much.
Interactive.